Well, hello there and good morning. Today I'm on the Great Ouse. I'm on the Littleport stretch. I'm on peg 42 and I'm planning to fish the feeder. A bit later I'm planning to have a go on the slider. So at the minute I've just kicked off the feeder line, which is today I'm about 2/3 of the way across. I'm not so far over as perhaps normally would. Just a little touch deeper there. So I'm 2/3 of the way across, not 3/4. Started off with 4 medium feeders full of ground bait with a few pinkies in it, and now I'm fishing over the top of it with a pinky and a red maggot on the hook. I've had 3 casts and I've had two knocks already, so there's something out there. It's not, there we go, it's just a little bit of a twitch then. So I don't know what to expect because I haven't been here for a while. I ain't seen any reports in the last week or so, so I don't know what's been happening down here. It's flat calm, but it's overcast, so I'm hopeful we'll get a few pulls, but really looking forward to getting on the slider a bit later, which I'm going to fish just this side of the middle. Loose feeding a few maggots to prime that up. 10 maggots or so every 5 minutes. And we'll have a go on that in an hour or two. Anyway, I'll catch you all in a bit. There we go, just have my 3rd bite, and feels like I've got a small fish on. There we go. Nice little roach to start proceedings. Oh dear, it's a bit of a mess. Got took by a pike on the way in. But he's still with us, he's not dead yet. Oh well, that we ain't going to get mithered with pike. I've been missing quite a lot of bites on the feeder, so I decided I'd have a couple of quick chucks on the slider, see if there's out there. Now, I admit the fish I've caught have been smaller, but I've had 2 bites and I've had 2 fish, so I'm going to stick with this for 10 minutes and just see how it goes. That's how I actually wanted to stick on the feeder a bit longer, but that's how I just can't seem to hit the bites at the minute. There's a few fish to be caught out there. There's only a small roach at the minute. But at least we're getting some bites. It's tiny. Right, back on the float this time. I've just had 3 skimmers, so that's encouraging. They're not massive, but they're better than the half-ounce roach I was catching last time I was fishing the float. So this will go for a bit longer. The feeder was the same as really, struggling to hit the bites, and what I was getting just small fish, so kind of not worth the effort. Okay, well, after much deliberation and messing around, switching between the feeder and the float, I've actually decided to stick with a waggler or stick with a slider and give it a proper go rather than keep swapping and farting around. Been fishing it for probably about an hour now. Quite a few fish. Again, they're not very big, but they're a little bit bigger. I'm catching a few skimmers, roach, around the ounce, 2 ounce mark, odd fish up to 3 or 4 ounces, but not many. But I'm hitting more of the bites than I was on the feeder, and I'm kind of enjoying it a lot more, so I'll stick with this. There's a little bit of a downstream breeze, but it's not hampering presentation too much. The river's flowing as well, not as much as it was when I first got here. But I know it was because I saw them. Saw that they were drawing water off into the relief channel when I came over at Denver. So obviously I knew it was going to have a little bit of a pull on it, but that seems to have eased up a bit. So hopefully it will stay like it is now, with it just tripping through, which is quite nice. Whereas it was actually moving through quite a bit earlier. rud that one. Thought it might, because it took it quite high up in the water. Whereas most of the fish have been coming at full depth and just trailing 2 or 3 inches of line along the bottom. But that one took it fairly immediately. Oh, I'll catch a few more fish and then we'll have a quick look at the gear and the way I'm set up. So I'll catch you in a while.
Well, he said when the Exxon Valdez went down, he said 5 people committed suicide.
Okay, quick chat about what gear we're using today. Won't bother talking about the fader because I'm not really fishing it, and it's no different really to pretty much every other time I fish a feeder. Anyway, today fishing the slider. So what I'm using is a 14 foot. The rod's a Cadence, and it's their number 1, which is the softest in the range, which I kind of like because 1, I'm not using big heavy sliders, and 2, quite a few small skimmers, and if you have a rod that's a little bit too stiff in the tip, you tend to bump more fish off. Anyway, got that coupled up with a 4000 reel. I've got 5 pound line on there. This is Dave Harrell Pro Feeder today, but could be anything you want, Maxima, anything you want. Now, down to the business end. We've got the slider itself, which is loaded obviously, so it sits with the bulk when you cast it. If you have an unloaded slider, they tend to fly back up the line and don't cast so well. So this one's actually a Bennett Sports own brand, and it's 7 grams, which is plenty enough for here because it's only about 14 foot deep out there. So that comes down to my bulk, which is an Olivet, and as I've probably showed you before, my Olivet's mounted on a tail stem, which is basically a piece of carbon float stem with some silicon tube on it. And I've got 3 clear bits of silicon on there, which are the actual bits that hold this on the line and allow it to move if I want to. So going down below, we've just got a micro swivel connector there to attach my hook lengths, and just to trim the float off, I've got 3 number 8 stots right down above it. I did have them spaced out with 1 above it and 2 up there, but to be quite honest, most of the bites are coming at full depth, and with all the stots grouped there, then if they do pick it up, it actually just lifts the float a little bit and I can see it. Anyway, got a 30cm hook length of 0.10. I think, I don't know what that is, probably Drennan suplex, and a Drennan wide gate match in a size 18, and on that I'm fishing 2 pinkies or a maggot and a pinky. Loose feed wise, I'm loose feeding red maggots. I can just get them out to just this side of the middle of the river, and I'm also topping up the peg with just tiny little nuggets of ground bait, and they are small, well, just tiny ones, and I'm actually just popping them out in my maggot catapult, and that's perfect for the range I'm fishing at, which is about 19 or 20 metres. So I'm probably just shy this side of the middle. Anyway, that's the setup. Whatever setup you use on the slide, I think it's important that 1, you use a heavy enough main line, helps avoid the tangles. 2, you have some sort of stiffness below your bulk. You can use bulks of shots. Like I say, I use this tail stem. I've even used twizzled loop below there, and that works to a degree, but this is probably the best. And the only other thing I say, this piece of line that the bulk is on down to the swivel attachment, that's actually a lot heavier and stiffer as well to avoid tangles. I hadn't got any heavy fluorocarbon. I've got some fluorocarbon but nothing heavy enough, so that's just £8 Maxima on the main body of the rig below the bulk. And that setup basically is almost foolproof. No tangles. I've cast a number of times now and I've not had one single tangle. It's tried and tested, and basically if you want to enjoy your slider fishing, you want to have a nice day where you're not constantly unravelling your rig, which can happen if you just like using 2.5 pound line and no stiff boom in there. And so there you go. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with the fishing, get a few more fish for a pack up. It's been pretty much a bite a chuck on the slider, so it's been quite enjoyable. It'd be nice to get a few better stamp fish, but they're anywhere between ½ ounce and 4 ounces, predominantly an ounce or two. But plenty of bites, keep me out of mischief, and a good bit of practice on the slider. Really enjoyed it. Anyway, see you in a bit. That's a better quality roach. Let's hope we can get a few more of them now. It's been slow going with the smaller fish, but like I say, they kept me out of trouble. But it'd be nice to get a few of them better stamp roach now and sort of put a weight together. There we go, about that last fish. We'll end on a skimmer. There you go, right. Just get this gear cleared up, we'll have a look at the fish and see how we're done. But really enjoyed it, yeah, it's been great. As I say, after fart arsing around at the start on the feeder and then the float, then the feeder again. Once I settled and decided what I was going to do, it's been pleasant. Anyway, we'll have a look in a minute. So, don't know what I got a few pounds. Anyway, we'll see in a minute. Well, there we go, another massive catch. It's just under £8 there, but most of that came on the slider, so can't grumble at that. Been a busy few hours anyway. So. No complaint. Well, that's it. I must say I really enjoyed that. I mean, it wasn't a massive weight, and the fish were a bit on the small side, but yeah, it's a nice busy little session on the float. Makes a change. Like I say, I had hoped to catch a few on the feeder for a start. I was always going to fish the slider anyway. That's only two things I brought with me today: one feeder rod and one float rod ready for the slider. So yeah. Just wish I'd have binned the feeder off a little bit sooner and gone straight onto it, and you know, maybe had a few more fish. Perhaps could have made double figures in, but there you go. It is what it is. Didn't have a lot of bait either. It just has red maggots, some pinkies, a few casters, and a bit of Heinz 57 varieties ground bait. What I'd sort of thrown 3 different ones together. Mainly used it in the feeder, but later on to use it up I was actually putting them little nuggets in on the float, and that seemed to like keep the fish coming. So yeah, all in all, enjoyed myself. Nice to come back to Littleport. I've been here for a while. Last couple of times I've been here, it's been a bit of a struggle, to be quite honest. So that was nice to get plenty of bites. Anyway, I'm going to make my way home now. It's got an hour and 10 minutes drive home. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye bye.